JoJo's Bizarre Adventure games have always been really hit or miss. This series easily has one of the most lopsided gaming histories of all time. Like, back in the PS2 era, we got the absolutely horrendous Phantom Blood game, and right beside it, we got the literal peak that was the Vento Arreo JoJo's Bizarre Adventure game. It was a game based around Part 5 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure that came out before it was even animated, and yet, even to this day, it's still regarded as one of the best in the entire series. And basically ever since then, JoJo games in the West have mostly been in a constant state of absolute fumbles. Because while we get like one game every 14 years, Japan, meanwhile, gets quite literally everything. From Aura Aura Overdrive very recently, to Stardust shooters, from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Survivor, if you didn't remember that arcade game that's still going, by the way, to Pitter Patter Pop. Like, seriously, what even was Pitter Patter Pop? Who plays that? Let's be honest here, half of these games sound fake, and somehow most of them never even leave Japan. So for the JoJo fans over here, it's been kind of a dry streak, which is why when K-Labs and Wanda announced a new JoJo's Bizarre Adventure game, Golden Spirit, I went into this expecting your usual anime mobile slop. You know the type. Static PNGs, auto battle, 14 currencies, the game trying to sell me a beginner's triple deluxe pass before I even finished the tutorial. And then I actually played the beta. And let's be honest here, it definitely has most, if not all of that. But it left me confused, because this game is simultaneously one of the coolest mobile JoJo games I've ever played, and one of the most aggressively monetized things I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. But somehow, this game also has genuinely incredible visuals, both 2 and 3D, amazing original music by Yugo Kana, fully voice-acted story scenes, and some really fun team-building mechanics. So after a decent amount of the beta, around 6 hours at the time of recording, I kinda want to go over what this game actually is, what surprised me, and also why the monetization already has me fighting for my goddamn life. To start the gameplay, Golden Spirit is basically this weird team-building RTS auto-battler gacha hybrid thing. That's a lot of genres. You take all your favorite JoJo characters, you slap them on a team. They can have 6 different character classes, from rush type, defense type, support type, ranged type, agility type, and special type. The rush type being your very basic run ahead and do crazy damage numbers. The defense obviously being on your front lines, tanking it for the entire team. They really just take it up the ass. They're really great. I actually love the defense class. Support class is gonna be your basic heals and buffs. Not much to say about that. Ranged is gonna be your back of the line damage dealers who absolutely shred from afar. Agility is absolutely the unsung hero of the bunch, being able to rush the backlines like nobody's business. And then the special type, the weird ones, the AoEs, the DOTs, what have you. At first I thought it was going to be your average put strong guy on team, watch numbers happen type thing, you know, just go and summon, go buy more product. But actually no, while that definitely still exists, certain units completely carry depending on positioning and synergy. My absolute GOAT, Abakio, is genuinely one of my favorite tanks I've used so far. It's like if Venom in Marvel Rivals used his shield ability, right? But just straight up kept the shield permanently and could also make a goddamn shadow clone. Characters automatically fight while you kind of oversee the battlefield from above. And once their meters fill up, you can manually activate these ultimates. Heals, buffs, big attacks, the usual anime game insanity, right? The missions themselves also have different objectives, from survive a certain amount of time, defend certain characters that will place on your field, deal enough damage before time runs out, fight through waves, stuff like that, right? Which sounds pretty interactive. You'd think, right? You'd think! Except, unfortunately, there's basically no reason to ever turn off auto mode. Or for that matter, the ×2 speed button. the game literally lets the AI press your ult buttons for you. So the real gameplay honestly comes from team building, formations, and unit synergy. That and desperately trying to understand the sheer magnitude of systems this game starts throwing at you from day one. And honestly, that part is really satisfying. Watching your team either completely dominate or just instantly explode because you put one idiot in the wrong position. It's weirdly addicting. You spend more time preparing your team than actually controlling them, at least for the most part. Definitely not everyone's cup of tea, though. If you hate auto battlers, I'd honestly just ignore this one. This game is definitely not going to change your mind. Now, progression-wise, oh my god, there are so many systems. Everything has a rarity, everything has a currency, everything has a material, everything has another upgrade path attached to it, everything has some sort of collectible tied to it, everything has more puzzle pieces. I swear to god, I'm just finding currencies to upgrade currencies at this point. You level up characters, you have to star these characters using the puzzle pieces that you have to summon for. You unlock different passives with all of these other conditions. You gotta equip dramatic scenes, which also have different passives and a level up system, which are basically just gear cards with their own rarities, by the way. There are badges, which is just another form of this extensive equip system. There's collectibles, which I've already mentioned and I think give just like global buffs. There's guild buffs. There's so many things you have to do in the guild. There's puzzle pieces for literally everything. I mean, literally everything. There's another system I haven't even unlocked yet. I can't even get to it. At one point, the game hit me with so many menus that I felt I was just genuinely in a Oblivion character creator. And the worst, most devious part of it all, most of the systems actually matter. After collecting a completely just superfluous amount of character puzzle pieces, you can eventually start up units into higher ranks, which give them huge stat boosts and new passives, which means, yes, the duplicate system is real and it matters. It matters a lot. And then to make things even worse, characters also have separate ability systems tied to things like, oh, you know, stands, hamon, spin, vampirism, whatever power system the character uses in the series, alright? Which also, on top of that, as I mentioned, has its own star system, which means more passives, more levels, it's just more and more and more. And so now I'm just sitting here and it's all starting to come together. I don't just need duplicates for the character. I need duplicates for the character's entire bloodline! But I will give it credit where credit is due. The game has a lot of quality of life in the forms of things like, per se, auto battle. It does have a lot of easy selections that you can press to max out characters and other upgradables, such as auto equips just about everywhere. Tailor-made, by the way, to max out your character's power level. I don't even want to get into the just maze of screens and menus I had to go through to even claim all of these rewards. But that's not to mention the actual presentation hard carrying all of this nonsense. Visually, the game is kind of insane for a mobile title. The 3D models legitimately look really good. And more importantly, actually resembles both the anime and manga. The texture work and shading just gives everything this really convincing 2.5D almost JoJo look. And something I really noticed, the characters just never feel lifeless. Idle animations are constantly moving. Characters pose dramatically, just like mid-cutscenes and everything. They have such dynamic facial expressions. Special attacks just like actually have impact while on the field. It feels like the developers genuinely cared about making the roster feel alive. And then there's the soundtrack. Yugo Kana absolutely cooked! The music feels straight out of Golden Wind and Diamond is Unbreakable. The sound effects just replicate the perfect JoJo's atmosphere. Everything has impact. And thank fucking God, the story is fully voice acted because the actual cutscene presentation is, you know, the devs had to make a cut somewhere, man. Sometimes this game suddenly looks gorgeous, and then 5 seconds later, it turns into a Google Slides presentation. Some story scenes are literally static image, text box, slight animation, but somehow it's weirdly charming anyway. The Part 5 retelling is actually pretty fun so far. There are genuinely cool pre-rendered scenes mixed in. Black Sabbath's introduction, by the way, was really cool. I just absolutely love how amazing some of these sprites look for the characters that we just rarely see or are very briefly shown. And honestly, the voice acting does so much heavy lifting that I stopped caring after a while. Then we get into the gacha. The summon animations are great. The Darby intro is hilarious, perfectly capturing the well-beloved line delivery of
"Go ahead, Mr. Juster."
Character reveals are stylish as hell. Actually jaw-dropping, the Craftworks one. I wasn't even recording for that one. I'm genuinely very pissed off. But this game is not subtle about monetization. And, here we fucking go. There are monthly passes. There are weekly passes. There are event passes. There are battle passes. There are starter packs. There are limited character packs. There are currency bundles. Let's not even get started on the different premium passes that exist for said character packs and weekly packs that I already mentioned. Bro, there are so many things trying to take your money, and I half expected the devs to just come into my house and have me hand deliver them my wallet. And honestly, I don't know how actually bad it is compared to the modern gaming sphere and just what gachas are. For reference, I only play Dokkan Battle, really. But it's like every time I see this screen pop up and I actually just like have the thought cross my mind, or even worse, give in and buy some of the passes. It's like I'm just begging to be the one to hold Caleb's cock while they pee. They're actively grinding my balls into the payment with every transaction, and I'm just asking for more. Which is to say, the summon systems definitely worry me long term. Because it's not just pull the character. No. Now you also need duplicates, obviously. Ability upgrades. You need dramatic scenes from these other modes. You need the stupid gear cards. You need all this other equipment. Then you need the money for it, which is not even to mention the other progression system that I haven't unlocked, and I'm definitely not emotionally prepared for just yet. And seeing all this just kind of kills the vibe sometimes. Now, to be fair, the pity system actually doesn't seem horrible from what I've played. Limited units appear, and yes, I mean appear, I have not confirmed it, guaranteed after enough summons. You can actually wishlist characters, and the game does seem fairly generous early on, because this absolutely feels like the type of the game where the economy gets scarier over time. We all know what I'm talking about. You know, the banners that have like 17 different featured characters. So at that point, getting the 2% featured character just doesn't even matter at that point. Especially with the duplicate systems tied to star ops and passive upgrades. It genuinely feels worse than early Dragon Ball Legends. Even still, I do think the game has so much potential. And under all the currencies, the monetization, the terrible UI, the really annoying systems, the strange bugs of the mailbox, making it so I can't even get my goddamn tickets! The game has great visuals, fantastic music, surprisingly fun team building, solid multiplayer potential, which I haven't even mentioned yet, fast load times, which is really important to me, once again, a Dokkan player, tons of content, and a very obvious amount of love put into the actual JoJo presentation. Seriously, this does not feel like some cheap anime cash in. It feels like the developers actually sat down, talked with each other, and tried to find the best way to put as many JoJo characters into the game while still keeping its systems intact. And somehow they almost pulled it off. The actual combat setup mechanics are pretty fun. Making teams is extremely satisfying. Watching your builds absolutely go ham on the battlefield or just catastrophically explode in your face is pretty fun. And honestly, gotta reinforce this. The guild and multiplayer stuff might end up being one of the best parts of the game, especially as someone coming from the single-player Dokkan Battle. But oh my god, this game is dense. So many upgrade systems, so many currencies, so many menus, so many mechanics stacked on top of mechanics. it feels like the game is trying to explain like several years of live service mumbo jumbo that like you get on day one. Because underneath all the monetization, there's actually a really good JoJo game hiding here. And that's the frustrating part. It's overloaded rather than lazy. Like the developers had way too many ideas instead of not enough. I am excited for the future of this game, and I really hope they add some of my more favorite characters, because it looks like they're adding all of their, more fodder dudes to start out. We really just don't have any form of Dio, Jotaro, Kira, Josuke. I could go on. I'm not going to, though. And if they can somehow balance the progression, reduce the system bloat a little, and avoid completely drowning the game in monetization, or should I say, the players, I think Golden Spirit could become one of the coolest JoJo games we've had in years, all localized within your phone. Especially for Western fans who have been pretty much starving to death waiting for these games to stop being Japan exclusive, especially when it comes to the mobile scene. And as for the beta itself, from what I understand, premium currency is supposed to be transferred over in some shape or form. Certain rewards will carry over, but most actual progression will be wiped. So, enjoy the beta while it lasts, and when the game publicly releases, I do hope you will join me on that front. But yeah, if you also have the beta and have some thoughts to share, make sure you comment that down below. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitch, join the Discord down below. Go chat with me there if you really need some more instant feedback. Keep it respectful in the comments. Let me know if you want me to make more videos regarding this game. And until then, lots of love to all of you. And of course, as always, have a day.